Yo, what's up guys? I'm very excited to bring you a cast of a game between Moon and Happy. Now, as you can see, this game is already in sequence. This was played today. They have a best of 3. And this is not the game I want to be watching, though it is a very cool game. Just want to set the stage that I happened to see this and I know that Happy won this one. It was a massive Warden hippogriff bear panda fight in hippogriffs against gargoyles that eventually Happy would sweep in a conclusive fight and take the first win. As you can see here, Happy is in 91 population, Moon is 62 and he's running away. That's a lot of gargs, scroll of protection, heal scrolls and vampiric aura and all that good stuff. So with Moon's hybrid air stratagem having fallen against Happy in game 1, what will he do in game 2 in this Back to Warcraft casted game of the Dobie Ancient of Wonders Grand Final, which is a Chinese tournament. So let's go into game number 2. Now, we won't have game sound because our lovely Neo from Back to Warcraft is casting this original game, and the Lord of the Ring does not share power, so I can't cast through him because we'll be talking through each other. So here we go. Game number 2 between Happy and Moon. You can see that Moon has started with an Ancient of War and a Moonwell, and Happy has started with an Altar, a Crypt, and a Ziggurat. And what this means is that Moon does not yet have an Altar of Elders, so it is going to be a Tavern Hero first. Now, the only Tavern Hero that got changed in this patch, in the most recent patch, which is less than a week old, is the Firelord. Firelord got a buff to Incinerate. It's half the mana cost, going from 6 per proc of Incinerate to 3. Incinerate is a infinite stacking damage buff on consecutive target hits on the same target. For Dota Frogs, it is like Ursa Warriors stacking attack damage buff, but it only lasts a few seconds. And when the unit dies, it explodes in a splash damage that hurts enemy troops. And he also has a lava spawn that will split after 13 hits instead of after 15 hits. So more splitting. One single lava spawn summon, which costs 150 mana, can split up to 2 times. From 1 to 2, from 2 to 4, 3 times, and from 4 to 8. So 2 lava spawns could potentially jump into 16 lava spawns in total, though the timed life keeps going down, so you won't have 8 for very long from a single spawn. Firelord First was the shiz in 2004 when TFT was new, and Firelord First, in fact, Incinerate didn't cost any mana at all back then. It was just a passive. It was very strong. Firelord was used against Undead, it was used against Orc a lot. Second hero oftentimes was Beastmaster. Now you had 2 summoners, both throwing up a lot of junk. Firelords, Bears, Quill Pigs, and then having a ranged army behind that. Back then it was often Archers, Huntresses, and Talons. Talons for the bonus damage via Fairy Fire. You also had the magic attack damage route, and then Dryads would be the piercing attack damage and slowing opponents as well. So you've got 2 casters that kind of weaken your opponent. And then you had the Archers and Huntresses. Hunters were kind of like pseudo tanks, and Archers were the damage. The combination of army that you would get from that was pretty coil novable, but it also had a lot of damage output, and it would usually leverage an early expansion to make up for the fact that it is less efficient when you get coil nova units for free. That's a lovely spot for a Tree of Life. He's already making one. Initially trying to start creeping the expansion. Happy does a really nice immediate surround on the summoned lava spawn using the small summon delay and its immobility to get the immediate surround on that lava spawn. He will be losing a ghoul though to the focus fire of the Archers, Spawns, and Archers. The Archers, Firelord, and lava spawn. Near surround by Moon on the Death Knight. As Happy goes in again, he cannot have a ghoul stand its ground at all. The moment any ghoul gets attacked, he instantly has to pull it back. This is a pretty hard thing to micro in Warcraft 3 when, you know, you go in with all these low HP units, these ghouls. You need to instantly react when something gets focused because it'll be dead by the time it runs away if you wait even a second.
38 months total. Sorry to disrupt.
All good, all
the
good.
3RD10 love great content. Greater streamer.
Thank you so much for the sub, Thirdex. So Happy just wants to delay Moon's ability to creep this expansion. He knows the plan, he has seen the Tree of Life, but it is too entrenched and far away to attack right now. So Happy's gonna have to live in a world where Moon will be moving that Tree of Life to his expansion. Now here's a little insight to timings. Generally, when you go for the Ghoul opening and you're as good as Happy, you're looking at a 9-minute attack with Ghoul Frenzy. Ghoul Frenzy gives something like 25 or 35% bonus attack speed on ghouls. It gives them bonus movement speed. So Happy, as of right now, is going to reach tier 2. It's 5 seconds away. It's 5 minutes and 10 seconds in the game. If he hightails it immediately to Black Citadel, that takes 2 minutes 15. So he'll be there at 7:30. Then you start the Frenzy upgrade, and by 9 minutes, it'll be done. You'll pick up a second and a third hero. You pick up a Orb of Corruption. And then you attack with 1 or 2 statues and Destroyer upgrade coming. That is the attack that Moon will be looking to defend against. And how will he do so? Will he feel like he has enough time to get some Dryads out? Is it straight to Bears? Is it Hippo Riders instead? I know not yet, but the first lore just got produced, so that's a little tip of the hat towards what we're going to be seeing. Rather than the traditional Beastmaster second, Moon is making a Demon Hunter right now. A second agility hero of the melee variant this time. And someone that can do some mana burns. Which means that every mana on DK will not necessarily be converted into death. There's a second lore in the same entrenched position that the Tree of Life just now occupied. The other one being in his main. And he's in a position to defend against it here with the Ancient of War and the Tree of Life. Still has not managed to creep this expansion yet. This type of harass by Happy used to piss me off a lot when people did that against me. I'd be like I'd be like that brute that'd be like, just stand and fight. Stop running in and out. It's so annoying. Just want to fight already. Why go in and then go out again over and over and over? It can be very annoying for an opponent to deal with, but you can see how effective it is because Happy has delayed this expansion for so long. He's trickling in damage on the Firelord and Demon Hunter, and he really wanted to delay it as much as possible. So now at 7 minutes, the mine is entangling. Probably takes about a minute. So at 8 minutes, it starts to pay off. You earn 600 gold per minute from a fully operational gold mine, 10 gold per second. So at 9-minute mark, when Happy is destined to hit, maybe it's going to be 9:30 or 10 this time, I don't know. But let's say if he hits at the 9-minute mark, Moon will have gained 600 gold from the expansion. It costs 320 to make a tree, 60 for the wisp inside. That's 380. And then you have to put 5 wisps into the gold mine. A wisp is 60. 60 times 5 is 300. We were at 380. That's 680 gold. 680 gold to go inside. Now, of course, you can pull wisps that have previously mined lumber, so it's not like you're making all of the wisps anew. But double lore tech is not cheap in lumber cost, so you are probably going to either make for the purpose of the expo, or you're going to have to remake your wood wisps that have now gone into the mine. So if we take the Tree of Life cost to be 680 gold, we must then also think, how much did it cost him to defend? There's a lot of opportunity cost for Happy to harass it, but also for Moon to defend it. All in all, it does take over a minute to earn an expansion back. All right? And the other parts of like the tempo and the opportunity cost are really difficult to gauge and calculate. So after a minute is not a very strong moment yet for an expansion haver. You ideally want to draw that out and make sure that the attack that is impending from Happy hits at the 10-minute mark instead of the 9 or maybe the 11-minute mark. Maybe you can repulse them for long enough to keep gathering, and that's how you can start leveraging the advantage that you have in a game over what your opponent has, which is Happy's investment of 680 gold went to Orb of Corruption and Tier 3 and Frenzy upgrade. So it's the classical juxtaposition of economic breadth and expansionism, economic advantage, and the tech advantage. And Happy's trying to leverage his unique brand of advantage. Level 3-3 was reached even under the heavy duress of Happy's inquisitive forays into Moon's base right now. And Moon's Tree of Life, even now, is under heavy fire. He does not have Nature's Blessing, so this tree only has 2 armor. Immediate Coil Nova and Fork Lightning on the demon. He blocks some of that damage with a Potion of Invulnerability, which gives him a mana burn with impunity. Something was building there, maybe a second shot, maybe an Ancient of War. It gets cancelled. This is a high-level invulnerability potion that he found from an item, so the demon is still attacking with extreme impunity. But now he's getting focused. There is a Staff of Preservation on the Firelord. He needs to get near enough to the demon to staff him out. He's actually deliberately delaying the staff in order to draw maximum damage on the Demon Hunter, which is not going to his Dryads and Archers. And he just walks back the demon, preserving for now the cooldown of his Staff of Preservation. These are a lot of Dryads. During this fight, Moon actually starts Reinforced Hide upgrade, to have the presence of mind to start a long-term upgrade that takes a minute to complete. Is quite impressive under such an attack, and it shows a comfort level that he thinks he can manage this. Firelord right now will not be casting any more lava spawns, even though he has 2 ability points in it. He doesn't have the mana to do anything more. But now that he reaches level 4, he can start leveraging another level 2 ability, which is level 2 Incinerate. If he picks it. Unless he's going to save it for Soul Burn. Remotely possible. Naga Focus Fires, he cannot be coiled even if the DK had enough mana, which he does not. And that is a win for Moon that looks relatively easy. So what role did the Firelord play here with comparable heroes? Which heroes are most comparable to the Firelord? Firelord has the Lava Spawn, which is a momentum-based summon that can split. It's ranged. You can compare it to the Quillbeast, which has no momentum. It does not split. It's weaker, but it's also cheaper. It's half the mana cost. Firelord's also ranged. That means he gets several free hits on Ghouls and Death Knight anytime they are approaching his archers, which is a powerful dissuader to Ghouls gaining melee range and then starting to harass archers and basically winning trades against archers. So ranged heroes are nice against Ghoul and DK harass, more so than a Beastmaster. And the way that Demon Hunter dissuades Ghouls from getting up close and personal with his archers is his very high damage. Demon Hunter has high damage, and he can also mana burn, as we set up for the 3rd game in this series. He can also mana burn the Death Knight, which already means less pressure on him as well. Whereas the Warden uses Fan of Knives and Shadow Strike to kill Ghouls and try to keep them away, but quickly runs out of juice and is a melee hero as well. So who else is the Firelord comparable to? The Beastmaster, as I said, is melee and has weaker summons, but cheaper. And then in a fight like that against Fiends, Triple Hero, Ghouls and Destroyers and Statues, the Beastmaster would be an easy focus target without as much armor as the Demon Hunter exhibited in a situation like that. Finally, there's the Keeper. Just like the Firelord, Keeper has a summon, the Force of Nature, the Treants. But they can't attack up, and they're not ranged, and they don't have momentum. So they don't have as much tempo when creeping early camps. Now, Firelord used to have prohibitively high mana costs for Incinerate to really get to use a lot of it if you ever wanted to cast Lava Spawns as well. But in that moment, it was just a very powerful archer. He was using a lot of Dryads, which are magic immune and cannot be Coil Novad, with the extra damage that the Firelord brings in, without the need for an Orb of Venom, which would require tier 3, which he didn't have. Keeper definitely doesn't hit as hard sans summons, whereas the Firelord does hit harder. So you can kind of see the merit of the Firelord. People have been experimenting with this in various matchups, and I really liked it. Getting his Demon to level 3 though was absolutely key. He got some good items on it, and Demon provided the tanking capabilities that were required for his Archer Dryad army to attack from afar. Now in game number 3, let's see if Moon can do it again, or if Happy, who is now very quick at adapting to disadvantageous situations and solving them. Recently we saw a cool build by Lynn against Happy with the Farseer TC straight tech Moss Raiders with walkers, and I've been copying that build quite a bit, even against other races. But then when Happy and Lynn played each other again in the 3rd map, Happy beat it immediately by changing the speed of his tech and making sure that he could not be locked out of having a Tomb of Relics and producing statues and destroyers, which would eventually become key to defending against the Spirit Walkers. There's a Coil Steel on the level 2 turtle, stealing some experience, keeping the Firelord away from level 2 and getting the DK to level 2.4. So how is Happy going to adapt? If you recall, Halls of the Dead finished at 5 minutes and 10 seconds and he immediately went to tier 3. He got Naga second and then he went for a Lich third. In my experience, Naga second was usually an undead response to Demon Hunter second, whereas the Lich was used against Tavern starters. This is based on older meta and older experiences, but maybe Happy knew it's probably going to be Demon second anyway, so he was preordaining the Demon pick by going for a Naga second. So my question is, what do you think he's going to do this time? Will it be Naga again? As Happy does miss a coil on that level 4 creep. He was prioritizing instead the archers, not getting any of them. And he's finding this to be a very hard camp to push into. Again, because the Firelord is ranged, because the lava spawns are so good early, he's managing to get a lot of damage on these ghouls that were trying to go in. Very nice lava spawn hit there on the ghoul. Gets another kill. And the Incinerate, meanwhile, is stacking up damage on that other retreating ghoul. And also because that camp had a Troll Trapper. And Troll Trappers generally take a dim vision on intrusion. They tend to ensnare new units into their range before any existing units in their range. There's of course code underlying that. That means that it's really hard to creepjack people that are creeping Troll Trappers with new units coming in. Don't tell me he's going to get that ring too. Meanwhile, archers cycling in and out of Moonwells to keep themselves alive. I think maybe 1 or 2 archers died, but he's killed plenty of ghouls. And he picks up the Ring of Protection that Happy left at his expansion. A little bit of extra stats that will be useful in particular for his Demon Hunter second. So is there a Tree of Life coming up this time? No. He doesn't have the early tree. So it seems that the way that Happy engineered his build was to get very quick level 2. In fact, it was so quick that he left the ring, right? Like he wanted to make it over here as quickly as possible to delay the Firelord level 2 and to also bring a sizable amount of ghouls. Happy tends to, undead in general, tends to need to choose their fights wisely. While archers are always able to shoot with their seemingly endless quiver of bows, ghouls are not always fighting units. They double as workers. So if you bring them repeatedly, you'll actually find you don't have enough lumber. Happy doesn't have all that much lumber right now, but he has enough. So bringing over your ghouls needs to come at the right time. And I think Happy expected the same tier 1.5 Tree of Life expansion that Moon did in the previous game. So he brought force. Not enough to beat the Firelord in his own base or to kill more archers than he lost ghouls, but enough to psycho out ghouls against focus fire and cancel a tree, but there was no tree. Now Happy's scouting is usually quite sublime, but I believe he lost his acolyte on the bottom turtle camp near Happy's own base. And he must have not had enough information, or he worked entirely off of assumption that there was an early tree. So he invested his ghoul flock then and there. Now that he finds this tree, the question remains, can he actually get the cancel? He splits his skeletons against the wisp, but Moon still manages to find his mark, getting 2 skeleton dispels with a wisp. The third skeleton remains alive, but is weakened by Firelord's incessant cannonade of attacks. And a ghoul already died as well. He doesn't have enough ghouls left, nor would he have had the lumber to continue this harassment, and Moon successfully defends his expansion. That is not an earlier expo per se than last game, but it is again uncancelled, and it was instrumental last game to actually give him the victory. So the goals remain the same. Get your demon to level 2, get the demon to level 3, and maybe some nice items to keep him alive. He's already given him the gauntlets and the ring. And as expected, I'm happy that I predicted this, not pre-watched by the way. Happy does go for the Lich second as he realizes like, hey, this is perhaps better to get my Lich high level, to get some high level Novas so I can do better nuking. The Naga, generally a Demon Hunter suppressant, and the main threat here is the Firelord, not the Demon Hunter. So statue comes in. This time it's the Firelord that will be harassing Happy's creeping a little bit, even as the demon is creeping the laboratory with the help of the Ancient of War. A very valuable gift by the Ancient to tank all the damage, and absolutely key to make sure that you don't lean on your Moonwell juice entirely healing up a demon that would no doubt be like 10% life now had he not used Ancient of War. This requires the prescience to move your Ancient of War there on time, and also not to walk it into creeps before you get there. Happy, for his part, also creeps the laboratory. Happy, Moon actually picks up a probably best in slot item, the Ruined Bracers, reducing incoming spell damage from coils and novas by 33%. Baseline magic resistance on heroes is 25%, and I don't remember if it works additively or multiplicatively, but all I know is that you take very little damage from a coil. A coil can do 200 damage, you'll take 140 baseline, and with the Ruined Bracers, I believe you take 103 if I recall correctly. And this means that his demon is going to be very impervious to those coil nova attacks. And he's got all this health from the gauntlets, and slippers and ring for bonus armor. So this is a very tough demon. Moon has his Mass Dryad attack coming in again, his Mass Dryad tech, making as many as he can. And here we are. This attack is a 9-minute, 30-second timing attack. No third hero this time. Immediately Coil Nova on Firelord. I have to believe that Happy actually checked the items for the demon and found the demon far too tanky to really start working on him. So he goes on the Firelord instead. This is another adjustment he made from last game where he poured all of his attacks into demon, and he must have realized his mistake. By the way, Happy hasn't lost a single unit yet. That is actually insane. That's insane, because otherwise the demon would have been level 3 already. He hasn't lost a single unit, but that's about to happen soon. Mana Pot on the DK, Coils, the Fiend, Lich and Fiends trying to focus fire best they can. First unit has gone down, demon is now leveled up. Dryads are falling, Happy 43, Moon 52. Focusing the Firelord is a high priority. He's doing it once again. Archers are another thing you want to kill. Demon is the last thing you want to focus fire. But he's doing pretty good damage as well. It's not like the demon is entirely ignorable, like a nuisance. Better not thought about. Bunch of low Dryads are now getting focused. There is a greater healing potion on the DK. No TP, by the way. Gives me a lot of anxiety to attack without speed scroll and TP as an orc player. But he really didn't have the money to start preparing for a plan B. And it just looks like there's too much stuff. The first Firelord makes its appearance, which forces Happy to transform a destroyer to start attacking it. Going with a double devour magic and some focus fire. Doesn't have as much application when fighting against Dryads, as the expansion still stands strong. Happy, in fact, out of lumber at this time. Is not currently producing, probably because he uselessly gave a command to make fiends or statues. Now finally starting ghoul production again. He's got 600 gold and 33 pop. Looks like Moon has held. No unit upgrades this time for Moon. Firelord, absolute powerhouse, attacking from behind. Double claws of attack. +5, I believe they are. Yeah, the patch changed them to +5. So this UI is a third-party UI that displays a +4. This is made by fans of the game. And so it says +4, but really is +5. So he's got 10 bonus damage. That's not counting the Incinerate stacking damage. Firelord, when allowed to attack the same target a bunch of times, could easily be hitting for over 100 damage, which is pretty insane. Let's and I don't think it works against destroyers because it's an orb spell-based modifier attack. Firelord has Invul. He's looking to get as much mileage as possible. Attacking the Lich. Incinerate, doing so much damage. 3 more hits would do it for sure. But Incinerate times out as Lich goes out of range. Heal Scroll is used on Firelord. And Invulnerability Potion as well. He gets Suicide to the creeps. Doesn't feel good, but it's better than if Terrorblade gets it. And sure enough. And actually it is Terrorblade. The name of the hero. I just saw it in the bottom right. Because there's like 13 variations of different names heroes can have. I'm personally partial to Rage Runner. But Terrorblade, quite iconic, considering what it became in Dota afterwards. Firelord level 4, Demon level 3, Mass Dryads. We got the first upgrade coming out for Moon, which isn't Abolish or Ultravision. It's Strength of the Wild. 10% bonus damage on all of his Dryads. Does not affect the poison damage, just their baseline piercing, which has actually been part of the reason why you sometimes see people spamming armor upgrades. That's a relatively recent development of the last few years. In the past, usually people would upgrade Dryads either evenly, 1-1, or 2-0. And recently you've been seeing some 0-1, 0-2 Dryad plays. And we've seen this in the matchup mostly against Undead or Orc. Recognizing Orc pretty much only uses physical damage going for Dryads with Raiders and Blades, and that it can help a lot. And Happy gets creepjacked and actually concedes the match. He knew this creepjack was too fatal. He doesn't have anything to fall back on. No invulnerabilities, Matapods, heal pods, TP yet. And that is a W by Moon. Now, this is the last laugh for Moon, right, as of right now, as this was just played today. And he just beat Happy today for this cup. But at the recent Back to Warcraft LAN, being esports LAN in Dortmund, Happy did defeat Moon thoroughly to win the tournament and the prize money there. A bigger tournament than this, to be sure, but now in a new patch, perhaps a new destiny for Moon and Happy to fight with Firelords on the field. And it'll be up to Happy to go back to the drawing board to see if he can solve this opening just like this opening was played. Just as this opening was played essentially by now 19 years ago. So maybe you can go look at some old replays of 19 years ago and see how people used to play against Firelord opening. Though I will say that the Demon Second is more uncommon for those days. So it's a new sauce and a new patch. What will Happy's response be next time they play? This was Happy against Moon, broadcasted on Back to Warcraft, and now recasted by me here on Follow Grubby. Hope you enjoyed watching. Cheers.